Once upon a time, in a lush green forest, there lived a strong and mighty lion named Sharu. He was known far and wide for his bravery and ferocity. One day, as Sharu was roaming the forest, he came across a young and energetic bullock named Golu. Golu was known for his strength and agility, and he was grazing peacefully in the meadow. Sharu, intrigued by Golu's strength, approached him and said, "Hello, young bullock. I am Sharu, the lion. I have heard of your strength and would like to test it. Would you be interested in a friendly challenge?" Golu, being a brave and adventurous bullock, agreed to the challenge. Sharu proposed a race through the forest, with the finish line at the edge of the river. Golu accepted the challenge, and the race began. Sharu, with his powerful legs, raced ahead, but Golu, with his speed and agility, soon caught up. The race was neck and neck, with both contestants giving their best. As they reached the edge of the river, Sharu made a final leap to cross it, but Golu, with a burst of energy, managed to cross the river first, winning the race. Sharu, impressed by Golu's speed and determination, congratulated him on his victory. From that day on, Sharu and Golu became great friends, and they would often be seen roaming the forest together, enjoying each other's company. The moral of the story is that true friendship can be found in the most unexpected places, and it is based on respect, trust, and mutual admiration. Sharu and Golu would like you to subscribe our YouTube channel. In a bustling market town, there lived a wealthy trader named David. David was known for his shrewd business skills and his love for collecting rare artifacts. One day, as David was walking through the market, he came across a humble sweeper named Mancy. Mancy was sweeping the streets with a broom made of twigs, her face radiant with a smile despite her simple attire and the dusty work. Intrigued by her demeanor, David approached her and struck up a conversation. He learned that Mancy was content with her life, finding joy in her work and the simple pleasures it brought her. Impressed by Mancy's outlook on life, David offered to trade her broom for a valuable antique vase he had acquired. Mancy was taken aback by the offer, but politely declined, saying that her broom was precious to her as it helped keep the streets clean. David, intrigued by Mancy's attachment to the broom, insisted on making the trade, offering her an even more valuable item from his collection. Mancy hesitated, but ultimately agreed, thinking that the new item could benefit her community. As David walked away with the broom, Mancy noticed a piece of paper tucked inside the vase. Curious, she unfolded it to find a note from David, expressing his admiration for her contentment and offering to help her community with his wealth. Touched by David's generosity, Mancy decided to keep the vase as a symbol of their unexpected encounter. She used David's offer to improve the living conditions in her town, and David became known not only for his wealth, but also for his kindness and compassion. The moral of the story is that true wealth lies not in material possessions, but in kindness, compassion, and the ability to find joy in the simple things in life. Once upon a time, in a dense forest, there lived a mischievous monkey named Miko. Miko was known throughout the forest for his playful nature and his knack for getting into trouble. One day, as Miko was swinging from tree to tree, he came across a shiny golden wedge lying on the forest floor. Curious, Miko picked up the wedge and examined it. He had never seen anything like it before and wondered what it was used for. Being adventurous, Miko decided to find out. He carried the wedge with him as he continued his playful antics in the forest. As Miko was swinging from branch to branch, he came across a group of animals trying to lift a heavy log. The animals were struggling, and Miko saw an opportunity to use the wedge to help them. He placed the wedge under the log and asked the animals to try lifting it again. To their surprise, the log lifted easily, thanks to the wedge. The animals were grateful to Miko for his help, and they thanked him profusely. Miko felt proud of himself for being able to help. He realized that the wedge could be used to make tasks easier for everyone in the forest. From that day on, Miko became known as the helpful monkey who carried the magical wedge. Whenever the animals needed help with lifting or moving heavy objects, they would call upon Miko and his magical wedge. The moral of the story is that even the smallest of creatures can make a big difference with a little kindness and ingenuity. In a village near the edge of a dense forest, there lived a cunning jackal named Eric. Eric was known far and wide for his cleverness and trickery. One day, while wandering through the village, Eric came across a beautiful drum that belonged to the villagers. Intrigued by the drum's sound, Eric decided to take it for himself. Eric carried the drum deep into the forest, far away from the village. He sat down and began to play the drum, reveling in the sound it produced. As he played, the animals of the forest gathered around him, mesmerized by the music. The animals begged Eric to teach them how to play the drum, and being the cunning jackal that he was, Eric saw an opportunity to trick them. He agreed to teach them, but only if they paid him a fee. The animals, eager to learn, agreed to Eric's terms. Each animal paid him with food and valuables they had gathered. Eric, satisfied with his haul, taught the animals a few basic beats on the drum before disappearing into the forest with his treasures. The animals, left with the drum and no knowledge of how to play it, were disappointed. However, they soon realized that they could create their own music by using the drum in different ways. They began to experiment with the drum, creating rhythms and melodies that were uniquely their own. The animals' music echoed through the forest, bringing joy to all who heard it. And though Eric had tricked them, the animals were grateful to him for introducing them to the drum, which had brought them together in harmony. The moral of the story is that even in deception, there can be discovery. The animals learned to make the best of what they had and found joy in their own creativity. In a village surrounded by lush green fields, there lived a man named Alex who was known for his foolishness. Despite his lack of intelligence, Alex fancied himself as a great trickster and would often try to outsmart others with his silly schemes. One day, Alex decided to play a trick on the villagers by pretending to be a fortune teller. He set up a tent in the village square and put up a sign that read, "Fortunes told, 1 gold coin." The villagers, curious to see what Alex had in store, eagerly lined up to have their fortunes told. When it was his turn, a farmer named Anil entered the tent. Alex, pretending to gaze into a crystal ball, said, "I see great wealth in your future, but only if you plant potatoes upside down." Anil, puzzled by this strange advice, paid Alex a gold coin and left the tent shaking his head. Word quickly spread about Alex's foolish trick, and soon the whole village was laughing at him. Despite this, Alex continued to play tricks on the villagers, each one more ridiculous than the last. One day, tired of Alex's antics, the village chief called him to the square. "Alex," he said, "I have a task for you. I want you to fill this basket with water from the well using only a sieve. If you succeed, I will give you a bag of gold coins." Alex, thinking he could outsmart the chief, eagerly accepted the challenge. He spent the entire day trying to fill the basket with water, but no matter how hard he tried, the water would always leak out through the holes in the sieve. Exhausted and defeated, Alex returned to the chief empty-handed. The chief, true to his word, gave Alex a bag of gold coins. However, the villagers, who had gathered to watch the spectacle, could not contain their laughter. From that day on, Alex learned to embrace his foolishness and became known as the village's lovable idiot. And though he never became a great trickster, he was loved by all for his good nature and ability to bring laughter to the village. The moral of the story is that it is better to be honest and humble than to be deceitful and foolish.